So without any further waiting, I'll introduce the Quokka Beds team. So we have the father and son duo. We have Daniel and Brett, and I believe they've got a slide deck now to go through and introduce this exciting offer in more detail. So over to you guys.
Cool. Thanks, Martin. Good to be here. Thanks everyone for joining in. A bit of echo on my earpiece. It's more technical difficulties, but we'll get there. We'll get there. We do have a slide deck, so we'll go through that. I'll share my screen. Cool. I think we can see that. So today's session is about Quokka Beds, obviously. That's our little motto down the bottom. We won't sleep happy until you do. Obviously, as we've just heard, Quokka is the happiest animal on earth. So today is, that's a little mascot. The order of today will be a bit about us. We're going to try to get through the factory quickly. Hoping there's no technical difficulties again, but then a bit through our business plan, 4 points there, and then a bit on our valuation too. So we can share that for the first time. So Brett, my dad, obviously, when we were growing up, he had the bed business since before I was born. He started in 1988, a long time ago, as Brett's Beds and Futons. He was a big player in the Perth market. So obviously he is an expert in manufacturing design. He's made lots of unique designs, as you can see a few there. That one on the bottom right is called the Fled Flintstone. Yeah, raw timber there on show. So he actually outlasted a few other local businesses that were around, and he's lasted this long, so made a very good product. A few years ago, so you can see there, 2017, I actually got back from London about then. It was a huge rise in Australia. You probably heard mattresses in the boxes and beds in a box. So kind of Australian habits were changing. People didn't mind buying a bed online. Whereas probably before that, it was more showrooms. You had to see it in person, but due to the big marketing budgets, people were much more willing to kind of see the beds online, mattresses online, and be confident to order them.
There was more door-to-door transportation as well.
Yeah, so that kind of got cheaper nationally as well. So you could also vacuum compress the mattresses and get them into people's houses for cheap and take returns for cheap too. But as we said in our pitch, this is kind of contributing to the fast furniture crisis in Australia. It's been over the news for several years. Other landfills are getting fuller and fuller. Getting trees chopped down. Kind of the main issue is the products are made from lower quality materials. So MDMF, plywood, timber bed bases, or mass produced overseas, obviously, usually. And then the mattresses are usually from polyfoams or plastic foams. So chemically made, they won't last that long. It's not possible to make a product that lasts more than 10 years in that kind of material. So that's why we're here. And there are more competitors entering the market too.
I always wanted to make a bed that would last forever.
Yeah, and that's why we offer a lifetime warranty as well. So we're pretty confident now. Brett's made beds 34 years old. They're still going. We still hear about them.
Still learning how to do it properly, but I'm getting better.
Yeah, continuous improvement,
yeah.
Of course. Yeah, materials change. We have to make it out of production changes, so always changes. A bit about me. I joined in late 2018, 2019, over many dinner discussions with Dad. So we kind of noticed these trends, noticed what my dad was doing, his high quality kind of products and happy customers. And I came with a marketing background, love making websites, love the business, love making businesses too, and streamlining everything in the back end.
We needed to simplify the product.
Yep. So our mission now, as we've joined together in 2019, is to offer proud Aussies high quality, long lasting bedding in the fight against our fast furniture crisis. So to do that, Brett had to streamline his products, as he said. He used to have 10, 20 different designs, all sorts of legs and headboards, bases, but we streamlined it and timbers too, yeah. So we streamlined it down to 2 main designs, You can choose with a headboard, without a headboard, different heights on the headboard to suit different mattress heights, and about 3 color options basically with the different timbers we use.
Different height options for the headboard as well.
Yep, yep.
Other companies can't offer these customizations because they're buying the product already made in containers. We more make to demand.
Yep.
Or preventals, really.
So it's a good advantage we have we can make everything to order. Customers want a certain size of base. We offer 7 different sizes, multiple different options in each. Whereas I won't mention the competitors, but they're usually set designs with a headboard, so no customization.
It's a big difference, big point of difference.
I wanted to take us around the factory quickly, but maybe I'll save that for the end of the presentation if it's going to work out. But we make these timber beds right here behind me. We've got up to 10 people making beds under Brett's direction at this stage. However, there's 2 managers with Brett put in charge that organise the daily, weekly production. So usually aiming for 30 beds, 40 beds a week at this stage. So obviously there's room to improve that too. Starting from the bed base, when we did go to the national market, the product basically sold itself. It was unique in the market. Like there's not barely anything else Australian made from solid timber. You only find unique kind of boutique premium competitors that offer
sustainable Australian timber, of course.
Yeah, from certified plantations. So that's different to the regrowth forests, which are chopping down old trees. For example, Jarrah in WA, which has been phased out. So we've had to move to a different timber. It's called rose gum to give that kind of this Jarrah look. That's actually a Jarrah bed you can see in the picture. But the rose gum is often a similar look, but a certified plantation timber rather than an old growth.
Still an Australian eucalyptus tree.
Yeah, yeah. And our pricing you can see there, about 1,000 to 1,600 for Queen, free delivery to pretty much all of Australia. This is a quick video. It assembles in 5 minutes. This video is 10 seconds long though, so follow along. Let's go together very quickly. Not many tools. There's a simple Allen key on this floating design, but all the brackets kind of joined together just by hand. So customers absolutely love this.
Took years to design.
Yeah. Much better than IKEA beds, obviously. That will take years to make yourself.
And years to put together.
And our other product, organic latex mattresses. So this is obviously complementary to our main bed base offering to begin with. But since then, it's actually growing much faster than our bed bases. It doesn't require obviously as much man time to make. So we send layers of latex. You can choose 2 or 3 layers of latex in different firmnesses options. So it's medium or firm. We send each layer in a separate box and the cover in a separate box, and the customer creates it at home. So it's quite a unique product in Australia, definitely, but it's huge in UK, US already. These very high quality mattresses, certified organic latex is easily the most durable, supportive, and long lasting, especially, material. So we offer a 20-year warranty. It should last longer. It's not like foam or springs, which might degrade after a few years and start to sag and not provide that bounce back support. Whereas latex is very springy and rubber. It's obviously made from the sap of a rubber tree, as you can see. So it lasts a long time and it won't kind of degrade over time either.
Dust mite resistance and stuff like that.
Yeah, very natural, very organic, sustainable supply chain too. And we've come up with new products in the last few years as well. Obviously, many more plans for many more products. We've got a cot mattress there, which is also organic latex and organic coir. It's like coconut fiber. A range of side tables, pillows, and mattress protectors too. Here's the key stats on our revenue over the last few years. As you can see, the blue bars are bed bases, the red are mattresses. So you can see last year how the red is much bigger it's growing very fast. It's just a stock problem for that. So we can expand that much faster than we can bed bases. Obviously, we want to expand both now as fast as we can. As you can see, net profit margin is strong, 38% last year. Due to the efficiencies, basically. So I don't want to put the credit myself, but as soon as I came on board and things took off with the marketing Australia-wide and the efficiencies in the background with how we produce things, we've got a bonus structure for employees, making sure we get the most number of beds out we can, and the most number of mattresses out too.
We were 90% sales in Western Australia. It's now 90% sales in the eastern states.
Almost, yeah. It's actually about 75, 80%. I thought it was higher, but yeah, we still get lots of customers, local customers, especially Birchal customers, loving his stuff and coming back here to pick up.
I bought a bed off you 30 years ago, and it's still good.
Yeah. Birchal was sick of it, but he does love to hear it.
I love to hear it.
And as it says there, marketing would barely even touch the surface on what we can do. Its product as itself, as I said, sold itself, the timber bed base especially. We do push marketing a little bit more on the mattresses, but even so, we run into stock issues. We can't store enough, we can't get in enough containers to sell it.
Basically, storage problems.
Yeah, basically storage and space problems.
That's why we're here.
Yep. For example, one campaign I ran for the end of financial year sales, June 30, over the 2 weeks previous, we spent about 10 grand in marketing, and sales went up by about 180 grand. And that was about all we could produce. We're still catching up. Well, actually, no, we'll finish those bed bases now, but yeah, we had to spend a few weeks solid of packing mattresses. So hopefully more of that to come. There's obviously proven strategies. We've tried this 3 or 4 times, and every time it's just been a crazy result in sales. People snapping it up. Also proud to have won product review in the beds category last 2 years in a row. Inside word is that we're probably going to win it again this year. As you can see, 5.0 average from 169 reviews, and our mattress and pillow is not far behind too. So it's a growing product, but our main kind of catch is that bed base. So we're very proud of our kind of back-end systems with support and customer service, making sure the delivery goes smoothly and the customer's informed during the production process to ensure those reviews stay positive. And obviously, let's make a quality product, so no complaints there too often. Obviously, a competitive market, but we like to focus on our 3 kind of main defendable advantages, which is being Australian. Obviously, Brett, with his 30 years experience designing the manufacturing process in Australia to the best of his ability.
I always wanted to beat imported beds.
Yeah, we want to keep manufacturing here in Australia.
Yeah. And
we can do it, and we're a similar price, really, to the imported MDMF plywood beds. So that's our main kind of advantage, really, being Australian with that experience. It's something other people can't copy very easily. Obviously, those startups, you just start up any old business and get your beds made in China, but there's so many people doing that, there's barely any doing what we're doing, especially in Australia. And then being sustainable, as we are in Australia, we don't have to send materials overseas, eco-friendly, durable products that last a lifetime. So,
plantation timbers, 100% plantation timbers.
Yep, and the organic latex, of course, as well. And then the other defendable kind of advantage is being highly rated. So that's hard to copy. Being that product review winner in the last several years, 2 years so far, is a big plus. Here's some competitive positioning. This is how we see ourselves in the wider Australian market. I wish I had a pointer here. I'm not sure if you can see my cursor, but maybe you can. So we're over here, obviously very high quality, very durable. Bed-based that lasts a lifetime, doesn't get much better in solid timber, and organic latex doesn't get any better for mattresses either. So the highest quality, simple, down-to-earth products. Up the top, we've got premium boutique, kind of those unique back small manufacturers or expensive mattress showrooms and sales staff. So in the offer document, there's actually details of who these competitors are by name, but you'll get that eventually. This is just kind of a summary. So for example, one of the competitors for latex mattresses, it can start from $5,000 up to $10,000. And we can say with certainty that our product is the same quality. So we want to get that on the market and grow. And then over to the left, we've got the other bed-in-a-box brands. I'm sure you know a few. Lower quality, made overseas, vacuum compressed in the box, MDF plywood. We're really a very similar price, especially our option without a headboard, we're cheaper. With a headboard, we're still pretty similar, maybe a little bit more on some options, but obviously we think it's a much better quality product, as the chart kind of shows. So this is what we want to get out of the market, and what people have realized recently as well, especially when we spend some money in marketing and they go for us. And then down the bottom, you've got your general department discount stores, Kmart, Target, stuff like that. So they're similar in quality, really, to bed-in-the-box brands, but just cheaper.
You take it back after 3 to 5 years when the bracket breaks off, no one's going to fix it for you. You know, the warranty's expired, you basically need a new bed.
Yeah. So yeah, that's another point about us. We can fix things, change them in production very easily on site. Yeah, got those flexibility.
Always said about new components if there's a problem, but we don't have many problems.
Yep. So after sales service is big for us too.
We're big on.
Here's a quick summary of our marketing funnel as it stands. All the usual digital marketing stuff that I know, I'm sure you do too. There's some future avenues for growth, affiliates and collaborations. So we want to get on the other big websites and then collaborate with physios, chiros who might refer us to our products. Hopefully they like our offering. They want to also fight the fast furniture crisis. Down the funnel, it's email promotions, retargeting, and then we've got our sales channels, website, and showrooms. This is our team as it stands, growing very fast, obviously from about 3 members 2019 to now we've got 13, including us. So I've got a management team on the right who helps in the back end of the office and organising production, hiring, marketing, social media, all that stuff. And then our happy, friendly production team too on the left. So they all get along very well. We're all apprentices, most of them. So we like to kind of push for the future of our workforce, train people up from scratch, basically. So we're well versed with that. So what's next for us? This is our showroom, by the way. First, we need to catch up with demand. We need to catch up and get ahead of demand, basically. So desperately need to get to a new factory to increase our production of our bed bases and storage of mattresses. And then we need a bigger team to increase output. Simple as that. We need to keep our growth. We've had 70% year-on-year growth last 2 years. But to keep that up at that rate, we need to expand much faster. Then to expand much faster, once we have caught up with Dan, we can start really pushing these proven marketing strategies. On the right, you've got our new website kind of draft, much more kind of sustainable focused, softer colors, you call it. And that branding will kind of transfer well to marketing as well in the ads. So more products, as you mentioned, and then eventually expanding into state. It's not crucial, but showrooms and distribution centers would be good.
And we can actually start focusing on having some stock.
Yeah.
Stuff that's ready to go when people want it. We can't do that at the moment. We're still 8 weeks behind.
Yeah, it's
too
constantly
long.
time.
We need to bring it down.
Constantly time 6 to 9 weeks, 5 to 8 weeks. It has been the last few years. There's positives and minuses from that. But if we can get to a stock positive situation, have maybe back-to-back ranges of
On a key product.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So obviously some other guys offer a 4-hour delivery window on the same day or next day.
That's because they just got one product, you know, and they've got a container load of it.
Yeah, yeah. So there's something we can look at to the future as obviously a huge growth avenue. Now, a little bit on our valuation. There's our revenue graph again. Obviously, we're a very old and profitable business. We've proven, I'm been there, not really. Fast growth, obviously, since 2019, since we rebranded and expanded, moved online to the national market through delivery, but we've kept those profit margins high or actually increasing due to the efficiencies in the background. So obviously a very small share in a big market. There's room to steal market share from the retail store, the showrooms, as well as other bed-in-a-box brands, which we hope Australians will start to realise are not as good as the marketing says they are. I guess we'll have some questions about this, but we've got a basic revenue multiple there that other people have gone by. That would value us between 13 to 22 million. But obviously, like to decide where we're going to sit in that range. We think the positives of being an old business and a profitable business should pose as well.
The big plus for us is it's a very profitable business, and on turnover of 2 million, we still have a good profit. A lot of these other companies at $2 million are actually making a loss.
Yeah. So we're in the growth stage. We're kind of in the expansion stage, I guess.
And that profit will stay.
Yeah. So that's it for the slides. Hand over to Martin now if questions.
Thanks, guys. That was great. Yeah, really appreciate all that information. Lots to go through there. So just another sort of reminder, any questions, chuck them in the Q&A panel. We've got a few coming through now, which I'll get to. But yeah, feel free to ask away for everyone who is interested in learning more. But yeah, let's just jump into some of the questions now. So first one that came through from Margarita, just wanted to know a little bit more information about the sort of month-to-month sales, particularly with mattresses. So can you walk us through the sort of sales on sort of a monthly basis, and if there's any seasonality to your business as well, you can talk through that.
Yep, sure. So we have got dashboards in the back end for monthly sales. Closely follow them, and it is pretty consistent, to be honest. During our sale periods, would be the highest. So end of financial year, Black Friday, those are probably the two main ones. And I guess seasonality wise, people start thinking about beds and mattresses again in January, February. So those might be bigger months as well.
These are the November, December.
Yeah, after that Black Friday kind of sale.
And Christmas is coming up.
Yeah. But pretty steady. Really, I mean, as we've mentioned, it's the production and storage that limit our sales. So if we could do more marketing, we would, and it always works well. So we always try to get to almost a better stock issue, get a few containers in and try to sell them as quick as we can. And usually the result is better than expected, but pretty consistent, just general growth over the last few years.
Yeah, awesome. Yeah, good problem to have is selling more than you can sort of handle, and that's always a good thing. Do you want to just quickly walk us through your sort of Black Friday promotions, what you sort of do there? Obviously, you have more of a premium product, but yeah, that's a very important time of year now, more and more for businesses like yours. So, can you just give a little bit more information about what you do on Black Fridays?
Yeah, sure. So, I organise the ads from start to finish and the email campaigns. We've got a strong email list we would go out to. Say last year, we sent about 3 emails, one as a kind of a reminder it's coming up, one on the weekend, one on Monday. They go very well. And then we blast the ads. I mean, whatever special we might do, say on mattresses, it's something simple. Like we said, is we don't want too many. We don't want to discount too much at this stage, but we could. There's obviously margins there, we can in the future.
Yeah.
But for now, it's like $150 off a mattress or $100 off a bed base, or a half price headboard, free pillows. We will always do free pillows with a mattress, but we could do a free pillows including a mattress protector, something like that. Or so small sales, but we boost them hard on ads and it works well.
Perfect.
Every now and again we do a bit of a promotion. We advertise the mattresses. Usually the response is so much we have to pull it back pretty quickly.
Yeah. We're not talking a month or two campaign. We're talking a week or two and go, no, that's enough.
Especially the end of year financial sales.
Yeah.
They went up 10 times.
Yeah. That's
in a week.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, yeah, it's good
we
to
did
know.
sales in a few days.
Yeah.
And we have to stop advertising.
Cool. Well, yeah, if anyone else is on the call hanging out for some new beds, got to look forward to that as well. I'll get through some of these more questions, and thanks for dropping them in. We've got a few more coming now, so I'll just try and whiz through them in order of how they were asked. So Nathan here is just asking about the 20-year mattress warranty. He wants to know how that's been determined, and what kind of warranty issues would you anticipate, if any, during this time?
Well, latex is a product that we've actually been using, or I've been using for 30 years, many thousands of them, and never actually had one back that's been defective. So it's a product that really will stand the test of time, and I know it'll last 20 years, 30 years from personal experience. The manufacturers reckon the same thing. So
yeah,
that's why we're comfortable offering a 20-year warranty. I think we could even increase it.
Yeah, some other latex companies do offer 25 years.
Yeah.
It's obviously the same product.
The mattress
gold
is
certified.
slightly more expensive than a foam mattress, but even a good foam mattress, you might get 5 or 10 years out of it. But this product, you'll get a lot better usage.
Yeah. So is what you're saying, like, because with latex, it's such a durable material, but with the warranty, it just seems like such a generous warranty. Is that because comparing it to other, lesser quality materials like foam, it's just far superior? Yeah.
People like that security of that warranty.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it speaks to the quality.
Yeah. To see a foam mattress with a 20-year warranty, it's not true. Or it's very generous kind of warranty guidelines.
Yeah.
So the warranty guidelines usually just talk about sag. So it's talking about like a 20 mil, 25 mil sag in the mattress overall.
Where the weight is.
But yeah, the way the weight is. But that won't happen to latex.
Yeah.
That's pretty much the only warranty kind of issue that might pop up.
Awesome. Yeah, it definitely shows that you guys are standing behind the quality of your product, which is awesome. So thanks for that one, Nathan. Just jumping down the list here for Brett. So Brett here is asking about how secure is Sri Lanka as a supply source for latex, and what are contingencies just in case you can't order latex from Sri Lanka anymore?
That's a good question. I mean, they did have problems a few months ago, but we were deciding whether to keep dealing with them or not. But we did, and there was no problems. And they're actually 3 major suppliers out of Sri Lanka.
Yep.
And it is possible to switch from one to the other. But we have dealt with Malaysia and Vietnam before. They also make organic latex. It's actually quite a popular product worldwide. And the sourcing it isn't too much of a problem.
Yeah. There's a few out there, but basically all the gold certified organic latex, 3 of the 4 companies that supply the trees for that are in Sri Lanka. I think the other one's in India. So we have got other options. If Sri Lanka did come a country that we couldn't get to Australia from, or they could export their kind of organic latex to a different country like Vietnam, Malaysia, to get it processed there. Yeah, awesome. And just on the supply chain, and a follow-up question here is around, obviously with inflation and shipping costs going up, have you seen any effects in your supply chain in terms of just being able to get these sort of source materials? And do you have any plans for sort of contingencies if shipping costs in particular become more expensive? It has been an issue. Nothing that we haven't kind of get around, because our margins are quite high. We have passed on costs to customers. Because of that demand issue, we have raised prices by 5%, maybe twice in the last year. Yeah. So we can pass that on, but we do see suppliers increase their prices often for timber and latex as well.
I'm pretty sure it's peaked now, though, and it seems to be back on the downslide now, and the shipments are coming through quicker and a lot more regularly than they were before. Definitely. Yeah. The container times were blowing out. And prices are coming down for the cost of the containers. Yeah. Quite dramatically. About half. In the last few months. Okay. And, the container times did blow out to 2 or 3 months rather than 2 or 3 weeks. So we had stock issues at that time, but it's just a stock issue. If we can hold more stock, we can order more high quantities. Perfect. Thanks for that. So just jumping down the list here. So we've got a couple of questions from Chris. We've got 2 Chris's, 2 separate questions. So first, Chris is just asking about how much capital are you seeking to expand. So
Obviously, Chris, when the offer's live, you'll see the minimum and maximum target, but maybe Daniel and Brett, do you want to talk through some of the plans in particular, you know, about what you want to do and you know, roughly how much it's going to cost? I saw obviously in your slide deck, you're talking about factory expansion. Maybe you can just give some more details on that.
Yeah, sure. Obviously, we want enough capital to relocate. So we want a new factory, and there's not many out there, but we are looking. There are contingency plans for if we can't find the size we want, we could get a smaller one. We could lease, say, half our factory, buy the other half. So we could have one factory for making timber beds. It could even be this one we're in now. If we moved all the latex out of it into a leased or a bought factory nearby, that would free up 2 or 3 times the space to make more beds. In the meantime, while we're kind of in this next stage of growth, basically.
Yeah.
We'd be able to implement that pretty quickly as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Small factory or big factory, depending on how much money we're able to raise.
Yeah.
Most solutions are going to be okay.
Yeah.
We prefer the bigger factory.
Of course, yeah. Mattresses are obviously big products to store. So it's a fun way of stacking them. Very high factory maybe, but that's exciting.
That's good.
They can be stored off-site really as well in storage units.
Yeah, that's true. Nice one. Another question from a different Chris here. First of all, he wants to just give you guys a shout out for your products, and he owns 4 of them himself. Just saying that
Cool.
you know, great quality. Giving you a shout out to in particular about your workmanship skills. Just wants to know a little bit more details about sort of the management expertise, like with obviously growing your business and bringing in more people. Yeah, can you just talk us through the sort of the strategy for how you're going to manage growth over the next few years?
Yes, that's up to us. It's obviously a hiring issue. And it's a support issue from our advisors as well.
As of now, it's okay. But if it was to double in size, we might need to get a general manager in or a CEO or something like that.
Yeah.
But between Daniel and I now, we can handle it reasonably easily with Daniel's 2 off-siders, marketing specialist, communication specialist.
Yeah.
We could you know, grow substantially without that becoming a problem.
Yeah.
It's a problem we look forward to in a few years' time.
Perfect.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just a follow-up question on that, in terms of, you know, if you reach the sort of targets that you're hoping for with this equity crowdfunding campaign, what sort of growth in the team would you be expecting? Do you have any rough ideas of that?
The team, yeah.
We go from 10 to 20.
Yeah, double.
And then we can instead of like at about 30 beds a week, we'll get to 70, 80 beds a week.
Yeah.
And then we can really test the market. We tested the market anyway, but we can sell that many, we're sure.
Perfect.
And then the back end kind of, we expect another 1 or 2 marketing management people to kind of help that growth.
Yeah.
And then if we get to from 10 to 20 people making beds, then the jump from 20 to 30 is not too hard either.
Great, perfect. Thanks for that. Moving on now, John has got a couple of questions here. So first question from John is just about the bed frames. So he's asking, are the bed frames universally sized for customers who maybe want to keep their mattress, or, you know, basically to mix and match products, like, you know, a bed frame from maybe a different source to you guys, and then a mattress? Like, yeah, just wants to know about that with your products.
Yeah, I mean, our bed frames are solid timber with well-spaced slats, very solid and sturdy, so it's suitable for literally any mattress.
Yeah.
We don't obviously push our mattresses. We do make the bed frames in all sizes. I think it's 7 or 8. It's the standard Australian sizes. And on the odd occasion, we have kind of made a custom sized bed within our existing production kind of.
It's not impossible. It depends on exactly how custom they want it. We can vary the sizes, but it slows things down a little bit. We do it.
Yeah. And another question from John here is just about your delivery network. So wants to know like what your coverage is for Australia. Can you deliver anywhere? And you know, are there you know, mattress collection points for customers who may want to pick them up?
Oh, mattress collection from us. Yeah.
They can pick up from our showroom.
Yeah.
And then, yeah, the delivery network, we use a few couriers. We have a courier manager actually externally. So they're called Pack and Send. They've got stores all across Australia. So they organise the couriers for us several times a week. We use Star Trek, Northline, TNT. Must be another one, but
yeah,
it covers all of Australia. We can deliver anywhere in Australia. We just charge a bit more outside the major metro areas. So I think it's about 80–85% is covered by free delivery Australia-wide, all the major cities, even all the way in Queensland from us in Perth. It's usually free.
Yep.
Mattress collection offers. I'm not sure if that means maybe collecting their existing mattress. We don't do that at the moment, but we do kind of push them getting in touch with their local council or charity to get their old mattress picked up. And if we did need to return or exchange a layer to a different firmness, we'll organise that from our end too and send them the postage labels and get it picked up.
Perfect. And just on the question of sort of logistics, obviously on your website, you have a trial period for your products. Just wanted a bit more information about, what rates you sort of see people coming back and maybe swapping the product or getting a refund, and also how do you handle that logistically with such a large product?
Yeah, so it will. I mean, it's not too much an issue at the moment because we don't get many, especially bed bases. The return rate must be 0.1%. I can only think of like 1 or 2 in the last year.
Sometimes a mattress, they're not suited to everybody. Some people are like, I don't quite like the latex.
Yeah.
We take it back. We usually cover all costs as well.
We're quite open and frank about any mattress it won't suit everyone. Like the latex doesn't have to suit everyone. The return rate of that might be 3%. So to organise that, because we do vacuum pack them in a box, we send them kind of a kit to re-vacuum back them in the box with postage labels, and then we get it picked up from their house. It's happened several times, 10 or 20 times maybe in the last few years, and that's been too much of an issue to get it back to us, and we're still kind of not losing money on that.
And the ones we get back, we cut up the latex for packaging of the beds, or we sell the mattresses secondhand in one of the local newspapers.
Yeah.
Ex display or slightly used.
Yeah, perfect. That's good to know.
There's not many of them.
Yeah. That's good to know.
And the other guys in a box, you could probably find news articles saying their return rates of 10 to 30%. It's just unbelievable.
Yeah, definitely.
There is a percentage of people out there who buy a bed because they've got a friend coming and they want a free bed for 3 months, and they get one delivered, then they send it back.
Definitely.
So that's why we charge return delivery cost. So you can't get a full refund on the mattress or bed base. You've got to pay for one-way shipping back to us. It's capped at maximums, $250 for a mattress, a big mattress. So it's kind of keeping the fairness in the market and fairness on us.
Yeah, definitely. And also to I guess the mission you guys have about sustainable furniture. Obviously, we don't want to be shipping out mattresses and beds around the country if we can avoid it. So yeah, the example you gave, Brett, about people taking advantage of those free trials. Obviously, you want to avoid that. So it's great that you guys have got your return rates to such a low level. Just moving down the list here, and thanks again for all these questions. We'll try and get to all of them. So, don't worry if we haven't got to yours yet. And if you've got any others, if you've already asked one, please chuck it in. We can definitely get to all. So Tula here, thanks for your question, Tula. Just asking about your products obtained from Sri Lanka, so particularly the latex. She just wants to know about, is it ethically and sustainably sourced? So if you just talk us through how you choose your suppliers and any sort of details you can give about that.
Yeah, so we chose this supplier. As mentioned, there's 4 kind of gold certified plantations that make them on site, the latex. And we talked to each one, got quotes from each one, went back and forth with samples, and we chose this one as the best. We liked their supply chain. They're obviously all certified. So there's many different certifications they have to get from global companies, such as Goals and THUV, GOT certification. And they're all kind of listed on our website too. So they give us the transaction certificate, which proves that they gave us gold certified organic latex. And
latex is actually the sap of a tree, and those trees they live for, I don't know, 50, 70 years. And the production of latex is actually considered to be carbon negative. So it's a consideration.
Yeah. Because obviously the trees just.
It's also a biodegradable product. If the point in the future when you actually do want to discard it, 30, 40 years in the future. It will compost down. It's not a problem in landfill, really.
Not a plastic foam. Yeah.
Yeah, where a foam mattress or plastic polystyrene mattress or a spring mattress, it's got plastic in it. It won't do it.
Yeah. Yeah, it's awesome. Yeah.
That's why we choose, one of the reasons why we choose it.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, yeah, if you go to the local tip and you just see how many mattresses are there and just think about how long it's going to take for them to degrade, if at all, that's some really awesome features of your product. Righty. So thanks here, Dominic, for your question. So Dominic's asking, given your focus on local manufacturing, which is, a great aspect of your business, do you have any concerns regarding the sort of skill and labour shortages at the moment, and how are you addressing those?
So, yeah, I mean, it's obviously a little bit of an issue at the moment with such a low unemployment rate in Australia. So we are kind of well placed because we can hire apprentices, unskilled apprentices who are
coming out of school, young people. There's a good supply of them still.
Yeah, so it's a little bit of a different market. It seems like there's quite a few still looking, especially you can get someone at a young age who train them up who seem pretty good. So,
not that the work we do is highly skilled; it's reasonably skilled. We can show anybody really how to do it.
Yeah.
Not everybody. Vast majority.
Yeah. Yeah, nice
and
one.
Anyway, we hope this is going to get better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely.
We can still find people.
Cool. Well, thanks for that one, Dominic. So Blake here has a question regarding the CSF regime, the crowdsourced funding regime. So good on you, Blake, for reading through the legal documents, because it's definitely not the most interesting bedtime reading. But Blake here is just asking, under the CSF regime, which is obviously what we're going through here to raise funds on Birchal, there's a requirement to maintain 2 directors. So do you guys have a plan in case, knock on wood, something might happen to one of you or someone leaves the business, who might be replacing you, or just, how do you manage sort of those contingencies, given that, you guys are running the business and so integral to it?
Yeah, it's a tricky one. We want to get a 3rd director in when we can. Obviously, we have 2 people in the showroom here working with us who could be potentials. So we could look at employee share option schemes as well to get someone on board that way and expand our kind of directors.
We're not that integral to it. I mean, all my skills have been transferred to the workers out there now, and I don't have to show them anything, in regards to how to do things now. And any new people we get in, the current staff train the new staff.
Yeah.
And Daniel's is a marketing and communication things, and he has assistants.
Yeah.
I think if one of us falls off the perch tomorrow, the business will keep going.
Yeah. Just need to get a 2nd director, that's all.
Yeah, perhaps a 2nd director in the future.
Yeah. So all the processes, that's what we've worked on very hard the last few years, is getting the processes in the back end. So making a bed and selling the beds is simple enough for anyone to take up.
Perfect. Yeah, just systematizing that production operation that you guys have, and obviously it's looking like it's humming at the moment. But yeah, that's really good to know. So another question here from Brett, and also related to your sort of labour team. So he's asking, you've currently got about 3 apprentices or 3.5 apprentices for each qualified technician. So he's asking about sort of the staff mix of apprentices to qualified technicians, and will this affect your margins if, say, these apprentices graduate and become technicians? How are you going to manage that in the future in terms of your staff mix?
We think that the apprentices we have now will graduate. We will retain them. They'll become trainers for our new improved team.
Yeah,
that's a much better process doing it that way. Someone's got 3 years qualified experience at training to get the professional experience while they're working here as well for full time. So they know the product back to front. They know the production line back to front. They're the best people to take it forward with the new apprentices.
That's a good question, Mike. You're going to have to retain so many experienced guys for so many apprentices. So you can't keep employing all the apprentices that come through.
Yeah.
You have to have this new guys coming through all the time.
Yeah, and then as our margin is quite high, we can afford to employ more qualified people especially if the efficiency of production increases in the bigger factory with kind of micromanaging each task.
Yeah, we find we want to keep our guys because they're pretty good.
Yeah.
After working with them for 3 or 4 years, you don't really want to lose them.
Yeah, yeah.
And because our profits are quite high, as Daniel said, we're prepared to pay the extra.
Absolutely.
We have to keep expanding.
Yeah, and I'm sure you see them becoming more productive as they get more experience under their belt too. So.
We have a profit incentive, or like a production incentive with them.
Yeah.
Each bed gets a certain amount of points. They get a target of a certain amount of points.
Yeah.
And if we reach the target and exceed the target, they all get bonuses.
Okay, cool.
And they like it. It focuses them on what they're doing.
Yeah.
And, they like the extra money they get at the end of the month, which can be several $100s.
It's quite a scalable system. The bigger it gets, the managers might get higher bonuses, and the workers get less of a bonus. And
we find it focuses them, it keeps them interested in what they're doing.
Yeah.
And they all talk about it, and it's a really good thing, actually. You need that in the profit share thing, or like incentive.
Yeah, definitely a good incentive. Absolutely. So, thanks for that one, Brett. And moving on, we have a question here from an anonymous attendee. So yeah, obviously you don't have to put your question, your name in with your questions. So just a question here around the replacement of Jarrah with another timber. I'm not too sure if it was an overseas timber, but that's been asked here. So the question is it possible to source an alternative Jarrah within Australia to make the product Australian grown and Maine? So yeah, feel free to give some more details on that. I think you talked about it in your slide, but yeah.
Well, it's a good question. 90% of our product anyway is plantation oak. Jarrah is a timber that's been around for a few hundred years, but they're phasing out old growth forests, not till the end of next year. But we've actually stopped using it now. I mean, it's getting scarce now, but we also don't want to keep using it because of that environmental connotations. So yeah, we had to look around for a Jarrah similar product. We could actually stain the oak, to look like Jarrah, but we sourced an Australian eucalyptus, which is actually grown in South America at the moment, but it's grown on plantations. They've been growing it there for 40, 50 years.
So I guess that's why we have the two options. We've got the plantation oak, which is an Australian timber made in Australia. It's a hard timber to find. I mean Australian timbers generally. So we have to kind of look elsewhere as well and give people options. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's great. So another question here from Nathan. So just wants to know, are there any patents in place or any intellectual property that you guys have protected with your business?
No, we can't really do that. I thought about that over the years. It's it's a bed with a bracket stuck on it. There's no patent really involved with it. Yeah. It would have to be some sort of specialized bracket, perhaps, but we don't use specialized brackets. We use good brackets, but
it's just not necessary in the market. There's so many beds out there anyway. They're all very similar. If someone wants to try copy us,
they can, but it would be very difficult for them to do so.
Yeah.
The product we make is not really mass producible. It takes, you have to look at every piece of wood. You have to ascertain, can this piece of wood be used for the side rail or for the front or back of the bed?
Yeah.
Is it slightly twisted? It is, so we can't use it. Problems like this.
That's the difference between solid timber we use and the MDF and plywood that comes from overseas, which can be cut up very easily.
Absolutely.
That's the skill we have, and that's what's difficult for people to copy.
Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, obviously there is competitive advantages that you went through in your presentation that aren't easily copied, but patents are sort of for very specific types of intellectual property protection. So that doesn't really apply to most businesses. Unfortunately, we can't patent the bed. That was probably done 1,000 years ago by someone, but that's all good. And thanks for your question, Nathan. So we do have time for a couple more questions. If anyone wants to chuck any more in there. We did have one come in from someone who couldn't make it today, which I'll get to now. So questions around, I guess a lot of businesses face this dilemma with, having a large product range that offers customers a lot of options versus, needing to hold on to inventory to kind of maintain that. So The question is, as you grow and expand, how do you see that mix of, having lots of, or, at least a decent amount of products available versus, needing to have a warehouse to store them? So yeah, just any thoughts about how you're going to manage that?
It's a problem I've been working on for 30 years. Yeah, and it was happening with my old business. The product range kept growing and growing. And then there's too many and it becomes too specialized. And to try and show someone how to do it is too difficult. So that was the process of moving to Quokka beds, to simplifying the product line so we can show people the different ways to make the different components for those beds. So it's like it's a mix. You can't have too many, you can't have too few.
Yeah.
It's finding that middle ground, which is what we think we've done now.
Yeah.
And any new products we might come up with, we're very careful in selecting what they are, what price range they are, how it might affect revenue and profits and the production of that and the storage. So
we don't want many new products. We're sort of reasonably happy with our current product range.
Yeah.
Maybe, we can tweak the designs in the future.
But there's lots of room to grow with our current products, bed bases and latex mattresses, plus the accessories. But
yeah,
like that's a market we can blast first and get the economies of scale with that before kind of thinking about expanding too much.
Yeah, that's great. I mean, and also like you mentioned during your presentation, still offering a lot more range than the competitors. So that's definitely.
Well, we do. That's true. Yeah.
For customers, yeah.
I mean, you can order a bed if you've got an existing mattress that's 20 or 25 or 30 centimeters thick. You tell us, and we will make your headboard to fit the thickness of your mattress. Yeah. No one else does it.
Absolutely. So we're just about to go to time here. So I think we'll wrap it up here unless there's any other questions coming in last minute. But just want to give a big shout out to everyone who's attended this webinar and for all the questions that's come through. Been really engaging presentation, and thanks to Daniel and Brett for walking us through this. I'll just give a little bit more details now on what happens from here in terms of the Birchal side of things, and then I'll throw back to the team for one last word. So we're reaching the last week of the expression of interest. So very soon you'll see the offer go live. Everyone who's registered as an expression of interest will get exclusive access to that, which includes the offer document, which will outline a bit more details on what you've seen tonight. Things like financials, plans for the future, all that will come out very soon. And once that goes live, you'll be able to invest on the platform and own shares in Quokka beds. So that'll happen all very soon, and wait to hear from communications for that. And obviously, if you do have any friends or family that would like to be involved, now's the time to do it, because the offer will only be open for 2 weeks and then it's closed. So it is a limited time. So in wrapping up, I'll just throw back to the team now, just with some final words, and thanks to everyone who's attended.
Cool. Thanks, everyone. Thanks for joining in. We're excited to have you on board, and we're excited where Quokka beds can go in the next few years or more.
We want to try the market to our full potential. That's why we need your help.
Perfect. Well, thanks so much for that, everyone, and to Brett and Daniel once again. And there will be a recording of this webinar that will come out in the next few days, so keep an eye out for that if you ever want to go back or share it with someone else. But yeah, thanks again, everyone, and enjoy the rest of your afternoons, and we'll speak to you soon.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks.
Cheers.